Hi, this is Nicholas Bell with Ion Cinema, here to review Silk Road, the latest film directed by Tiller Russell, which will be released courtesy of Lionsgate, February 19, 2021. Mr. Russell has had a busy last year. Netflix recently released his series on Richard Ramirez, Night Stalker, just a couple months ago. And here he's returned to narrative filmmaking with another true story. This is based on a David Kushner article about a dark web website that operated a lot like eBay or Amazon and sold illicit substances and eventually other illegal items to people all over. And it was run by a millennial named Ross Ulbricht, here played by Nick Robinson. Starts out in 2013 in San Francisco, right as Ulbricht is being arrested. He was eventually charged and received 2 back-to-back life sentences, and plus some change. And then we back up 3 years and we're switching between Austin and Baltimore, where we're getting snippets of how Silk Road came to be on the end of Ulbricht, and also the DEA agent that would eventually be involved in interesting ways in his demise, played by Jason Clarke, Rick Bowden, who is a recovering alcoholic. He had messed up on a major assignment in Puerto Rico or something, and he is 9 months left of his career before he can retire. He is shunted off into the cyber crimes unit and has no idea how to even really operate a computer or be on the internet. He's expected to just be quiet and languish. But his wife, played by Katie Aselton in a very throwaway role, has a taste for finer things in life. And their young daughter, who's about to be in kindergarten, they want to enroll in a very expensive school. So there's that going on in the background. Meanwhile, Nick Robinson starts dating Alexandra Shipp, playing Julia. The 2 previously co-starred in the film Love, Simon, by the way. They have Daniel David Stewart playing Max as a friend. They basically concoct this website in Contact at Gawker publishes an article about it, and all of a sudden it's going like gangbusters, and Ulbricht is consumed with this business, and although he's receiving thousands and thousands of messages, we hone in on how Jason Clarke manages to get his ear and infiltrate, per se, as a trusted member of this network. Meanwhile, there's also something going on with Paul Walter Hauser playing Curtis Clark Green, who's kind of at the top-rated seller that is headhunted by Ulbricht to be his kind of right-hand man. But because of that scenario, Rick Bowden is able to find him and torture him for information. Ulbricht strangely puts out 2 hits on people, not knowing that he's speaking to the DEA agent who's starting to blackmail him. So there's all these interesting elements there, but surprisingly Silk Road is not a very well attenuated film. It's operating on like base level cliche in the script department, and some of the cast are able to overcome that, particularly Jason Clarke. But as in the problem with Night Stalker, the series, Russell likes to focus on the law enforcement side of things, which aren't always able to give us the most interesting components of any particular crime case per se, and this is another case in point of that. Robinson's should be the more interesting character, but he's also played very stiffly. So Clarke has the more cliche storyline, but is the better performer. So it gives a very lopsided effect to something like Silk Road. Also, Darrell Britt-Gibson playing Rayford, who's a mole that's being abused by Rick Bowden, is also kind of a gangling of cliches. And even though Britt-Gibson is an interesting performer, he just portrayed Bobby Rush in Judas and the Black Messiah. Here he is stuck with some, I think, terrible dialogue, and also having to wade through a lot of cliches. It reminded me, of course, of a lot of films that are dealing with real life cases that are trying to be whittled down to a narrative film length, like The Infiltrator with Bryan Cranston. I was also reminded a little bit of, in the Jason Clarke characterization of My Spy, based on this person who's messing up majorly and kind of bundled off somewhere else where they can't do any harm, only to kind of do the same thing all over again. But also, once we get to the point where Ulbricht is convicted of 2 life sentences and some change, it seems harsh because what Tiller Russell kind of fails to navigate or show us is the degree of what Silk Road was and what an impact it had and how dangerous that was to justify in our continual war against drugs that somebody like Ross Ulbricht received this kind of sentence over this, and kind of really tries to do a rudimentary 101 on what cryptocurrency, and it also kind of fails a little bit at that. Overall, I would give Silk Road 1 out of 5 stars. Thank you.
Hey, this is Eric from IONCINEMA.com. If you want to support us, subscribe below. For more reviews, interviews, film festival coverage from Sundance, Cannes, Toronto, you want to check out these guys on this side.